The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Business Zone with Crystal Gilbert and
Donna's back.
Don is back. Hey Alicia. Hey Linda. Hey Don.
Hey Alicia, my
been a-
bestie. She was on her way up here.
Oh.
Hey Crystal.
Hey.
Hi.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Well, I've been making mad moves, so
I know you have.
I've been making what they call them
Power moves.
power moves. So I needed a moment, but I am so glad to be here with you today.
You are over radio everywhere. You got
Yeah, God is good.
shows going on. huh?
Absolutely.
So what shows are we on?
Well, the most important thing is you can find me here on a third Friday with
Okay.
Crystal, with my friend Crystal, and the Bella Network, talking about all the good stuff that's happening, right?
Right.
And you can find me on Sundays at 7 o'clock on Love Thyself radio show with Keisha Carter. And I'm just really excited. Yesterday I was interviewing with my friend Wes Hall. He had me on his show yesterday. And we
saw
talked.
that.
Yes, we talked about the show Love Thyself Radio and just what it's about.
Okay.
And what God's doing through that ministry, which is incredibly awesome. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
For now.
So what is that? What is the premise of that show?
Love Thyself radio show is simply helping our audience grow and mature in Christ and
Okay.
understanding what God's plan and will is for their life.
Okay.
And from that, when you know what God is doing in your life, when you know His perfect will for you, you're able to love yourself more.
So
love
true.
yourself enough to say no to that negative relationship, that negative, thing that's not serving your life. Just love yourself enough to stop procrastinating and be about God's purpose.
Right.
That's what it's about.
exactly. And so many people have difficulty doing that. huh?
Absolutely.
It's like who was I was telling the other day, and they're quite spiritual and
Mm-hmm.
religious, and they were going on, whether or not something was going to happen the way it was supposed to happen,
Right.
and I went, you prayed on it, right?
Right, yeah.
And they're like, yeah. So what's the problem?
Right.
You know better than I do.
Yeah, just reminding people how big God is and
Right.
the fact that He's bigger than any circumstance we can face.
Right, exactly.
Then when you know that, and you really have a high view of who God is and how He operates, when you know His will and how He moves, then you become immovable and you're able to just love yourself through any circumstance and be great as God called you to be great.
Exactly. And he takes us through trials.
Yeah, James 1, for
Yeah.
a reason, to build our character so He can shape us and mold us, because God knows what we're facing. He knows His plans for us.
Right.
We don't know.
No,
But He
don't
knows.
know. We know.
So sometimes
we
you gotta-
know when we read the Bible and really read
Yeah.
it for what it says, because it actually is a guide to tell you exactly what the plan is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And in today's world with so much stuff going on, I think if we relate it back to it, it would help us understand on a greater plane
Right.
what is actually happening, because it's all there. It's all written
Yeah.
there.
But the only thing it doesn't tell us is that some of the things that it say that we're going to face trials of various kind. It doesn't say that it's going to look like a bad relationship, a bad marriage.
No,
It doesn't say that our kids are going to be like out of control. So because it doesn't spell it out for us, we get a little shaken and
Yeah.
we start doubting ourselves and doubting, is this really what God wanted me to do?
Right.
And that's understandable. So we
Yeah.
try to remind our listeners to stay the faith, keep the course. God is faithful. His promises and benefits are true. He'll finish the good work He started in you. We try to help him to hold on to God's unchanging hand because it's real. He'll
real.
do it.
He will definitely do it. Actually, I think He's working as we speak on a lot of things that are going on in this world that have us all confused and concerned and scared. But I think if we revert back to him,
Yeah.
we would see what was happening, and that he in control.
He's in control. It doesn't look like it sometimes. It takes long. Did you see that Instagram or Facebook post when the young lady is actually upset? She's like, "Really, Lord? Like, you how long am I supposed to wait?" And you feel her pain. She's like,
I've had those conversations.
This is way too long.
I've had those conversations like, wait a minute, what's happening here? Yeah. I've had those conversations. And usually, now I know for me, when I've had those conversations, and usually mine took place when things were going on in my car. Right. And I'd say, all right, God, look, you and I need to have a come to Jesus meeting because all this is this necessary?
Yes. And you know what's interesting is when I first saw that, I was really, I was shocked. I said, oh my gosh, she's really having a moment. She is fussing at God, you know?
Exactly.
But it's life. It happens, and it's real for some people, real. Yeah. And it's okay, because God already knows the way we feel anyway. Yeah. He already knows it, so it's okay to express to him how you feel.
But
just be
okay,
careful.
Because we would do that with our families as well, right?
Yeah, but this is God we talking about. We ain't talking about families.
But with our mom and dad, we've had conversations like...
No, I don't. Look, let me look at y'all and tell y'all. The most my mother will let me get away with is calling her Deborah. So when I get upset, I say Deborah. And... that's about all I can get away with when
you were able to get away with, huh?
Let me raise my voice.
Well, yeah, I would have raised
Let me raise my
I've done
voice
that a couple of times.
and see what happened to me.
Of course, I saw the reaction to what that really looked like afterwards. So,
did you get beat?
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, but you have to test the water, right?
No, I can't test my mom. No testing the waters here. Absolutely not.
To see how far you can actually go. So your mother had already set it up. She knew how far you could and could not go.
And in saying that, I wouldn't dare test God. Yeah. I wouldn't test him.
Well, and I don't know if
I wouldn't give him an ultimatum. I wouldn't say. I used to probably. I'm sure I did at one point, and just don't remember.
Yeah. I think we all.
But as I've grown and matured,
I've had some conversations.
What I do is get quiet. Let's be real, it becomes harder when you're going through a struggle. Yeah. It becomes harder to pray sometimes. Yeah. It becomes hard to wake up in the morning like, Lord, I praise you and thank you for life.
Right, exactly.
It becomes a little hard.
It does.
You wake up a little slow.
Yeah, and you're like
a little quiet. So that's why I got posties all over my so when I don't wake up and give him praise before I get out of the bed, when I get to the bathroom mirror, or as I'm making my bed, I turn around and I see the mirror that's in my room, and there's a quote there of how good God is, and today He's in total control, regardless of what circumstances may look like, and it helps me brighten up. And then I get to the bathroom, there's another post on God's on the mirror for reminding me to intercede for others, because life is just not about you; it's about you interceding for other people. Sometimes when you're going through a challenge, you need to pray for somebody else because it makes it better for you. So then those things help me to come up out of my slump. But I have some moments when I don't even feel like speaking.
Yeah, I've had those moments.
So I'm just quiet.
Yeah, it's like
because I wouldn't dare raise my voice.
We have it's a little bit of a quiet reverence. Fussing out. Okay, but I can feel the system. Yeah. Like, okay, I done gone through a whole lot, Lord. What's happening here? I did everything you tell me to do. So, but right, exactly.
So that's why shows like this is good, because then we're reminded to keep going.
Right, we are. Mm-hmm. Well, there is something going on right now that took place that's all over the internet, and it's going on, and is the it's called the 1619 Project, and it is the celebration of the 400 years of us being in bondage. Wow. And if we go to and this is why it's so interesting that we're having this conversation, because when you go to Genesis 15:13, it actually says, the Lord said to Abraham that you can be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land where they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. So on August 20th, that marked the 400th year of the first slave ship that embarked it actually was not heading to the Americas. It was actually heading to Mexico by the Portuguese, and it got off track. They ended up in Hamilton, Virginia.
Right.
So
look at God.
I know. Look at God. 400 years. It was already in the Bible.
If it would have ended up in Mexico, would we be Mexicans?
We would be. We may not have been in bondage. And interesting enough, the first 400, it was 20 odd black people.
Right.
And they were the ship, the captain. They were really exchanging them for food. Now, I don't know whether they were selling for food exchange, but whatever, there was some exchange of bartering for human flesh for food.
Right.
So, and that was the beginning of it. Wow. And then after that, it matriculated to whatever. But this is it was Proverbs, right? It was it was actually predestined by God.
Yeah.
So now, behind that, it says, and this is where we get to the part about us, because behind that, it says that we will, in 1514, it says that God will punish the captors for enslaving and oppressing us. And then the next one is, it says the fourth generation descendant of Abraham will receive their riches and their possessions that God had bequested for them. So that means now we're 401 days or whatever, 5 days, and now it's time for us to reap our wealth.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I am so ready. I was ready a long time ago, but I am ready. But I guess the question is, and James McMahon said, looking good, ladies.
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you, James.
So now the question is, do we have a plan?
Right.
Now, I know you and I have a plan.
We have a plan. But now we need to reach out and help our other fellow black folks that have just been released from bondage. I was speaking at a town hall meeting on Thursday, and I said to the people there, about 25, 30 people, and I started my conversation with this, and I said, do you feel free? Yeah. Because it starts with you feeling free first. Because if you don't feel free, if you're not mentally free, you ain't free.
You're not free.
Because the way God works, God has a way of doing things. And sometimes he does things when his payback ain't our timing.
Right.
Sometimes his payback ain't always material. His payback may be you just getting a grip on where you are and mentally being okay. But the God we serve, he's not going to leave us in the state that we're in. He's that awesome. He'll begin to provide. But as we start reaping some of the benefits that the word says is due to us, sometimes it's slow coming in. So we need you to first get that mental toughness together, that mental state together, being emotionally well. Because when you're emotionally well, then it takes care of everything else.
Right, exactly.
While God's doing what he's doing in his own time frame. Because the Lord told me my husband was coming.
Right, so you're getting prepared. He's preparing you to
He told me that so long ago.
But it's not in your time.
It's not, about 15 years ago.
It's still not in your time.
Oh my God, but guess what?
What?
I think the time has arrived.
Well, let me tell you a little story. So, and we'll get back to how you guys going to create this. Well, first, release the mind so it's ready for wealth. But let me tell you a little story. So, one of my best friends passed away. She passed over 2 weeks ago. And we've been coming to grips with it. In fact, today, her name is Vita Lynn Brown, and she was a curator at CAM. So
sorry about your loss.
Thank you. And so we were at CAM, and they were doing this whole celebratory reception for us, and it was just for the close friends and family. And then there's going to be some other celebrations because that's what she wanted, the celebration. So 4 years ago, a man that she had met 37 years ago.
Yes.
Came back into her life.
Wow.
After being gone for 33 years. And then he came back into her life. Yeah. And he was just here to help her cross over.
Perfect timing. See, we don't know what God's doing.
We don't know,
God works things out.
And all I can say is William went beyond and beyond. There was no question that when she left this planet, that this man did not love her.
Beautiful story.
And all of us like, oh my God. I mean, that's hard. You've been waiting, and I guess they connected 30-something years ago. Timing wasn't just right. Then the Lord brought them back together. But again, we never know what the plan is, right? So we don't know if it's for a lifetime.
But we know it's perfect.
We just know
we don't know
perfect.
what it is, but it's perfect.
And I just know that when she took her last breath, she knew the love of a man. And that had totally sacrificed himself for her.
Isn't that something?
So.
And how old was she at the time?
Vita is 50. I think she was 56.
It's never too late. I met a gentleman yesterday. He's 60. You know, yesterday, I don't know what was on my face yesterday, but like within maybe a 30-minute period. I'll say 30 minutes. I don't want to just boost myself up. I think it was a little short of that. But within a 30-minute, I need them to look at me when I need them to see my face when I say it. Within a 30-minute period, you would have thought I was Jada Pinkett and Holly Berry kind of mixed together or something. But in a 30-minute period yesterday,
okay,
these guys were just trying to talk to me. I was a little cute. I didn't have on sweats. My hair was done a little bit.
Oh my!
I had on some makeup, just a little bit of makeup. But they were trying. But look, they were 71. This one guy asked, he came up to me, and I'm trying to find a birthday card for a friend of mine, and the gentleman said, excuse me, but I just have to ask you, are you single? And I couldn't lie. I wanted to lie so bad. Because he wasn't bad looking for 71, Crystal. He was not bad looking. He actually looked like he hit the gym. He had good energy. You know, it's about the energy somebody gives. Yeah. And he was 71, Crystal, and I knew he was older. He says, are you single? And I said, yes. So you're not married.
You cleared your voice.
And so he said he wanted to know if he could ask me out. And so I said, that may be possible, but let me ask you a question. How old are you? He said, I'm 71. Didn't blink. And I said, well, I'm flattered. And he said, what gave it away? I was like, you don't look old. You actually look very good for your age.
Okay.
I just kind of felt you were a little more mature. And I said, my father's 72.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know if that'll be good.
If I can pull that one off.
And he was like, well, age is nothing but a number, but the idea for me is to be able to take them respectfully home.
Right.
And growing up, my father said, first of all, don't bring anybody in here taller than me. And he was like 4'11".
Well, that's going to be interesting.
You know what that was like. So I know I can't bring nobody in there his age. He gonna smack me. So I could decline. Then there was another guy. It's like 68. I was like,
you getting closer?
So I think God is showing me that he's coming.
You're getting closer.
Hopefully we'll go down hilarious.
To the right place.
I just said that to say age ain't number the number, but the guy that meant that was 68 had a 7-year-old daughter.
Oh.
He had his daughter with him.
Okay.
And she was making it clear, don't mess with my daddy.
Okay. All righty. Obviously he was virile.
I said it's never too late for what God wants to do in your life. And he's a single parent, he's raising his daughter. His baby's mother was like 35. He told me she was 30. We got into a whole conversation after I saw her and found out that was his. He was like, it's never too late. You don't know what God's going to do in your life. Don't count him out. Because right when you think he's out, he shows up.
Right, you just never know.
Come on, somebody. That was awesome there.
But I mean, there's some. Look at that lady.
I don't plan on having
that lady. What's her name? Ernestine Shepherd.
Yes.
What is she? 80-something,
right.
And the lady's body is just.
Yes.
And she didn't do that. She didn't do that until she was in her 60s.
Right. Yes. So I said all that to say it ain't too late for whatever God. The money he got coming to us. The kindness from others that we haven't received for a long time.
Right.
It's never too late for any of that.
No.
He can do it.
He can do whatever, and you just have to be open to. And because we have preset things that have shaped and experiences that have shaped us, that sometimes those opportunities present themselves. And we don't even see them.
Or we're not ready.
And we're not ready for them. Or we have a preconceived idea of how we want it to look.
Because I already know what my husband look like. I know his name. I just need you to whammy him, Lord. Do you know what he look like? You know his name?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Well, I probably did years and years ago, but no.
But you don't know now?
I have no
You don't
clue.
have your eye on somebody?
No. I have no clue. I used to think that, and I still probably does. I just assumed somebody has mine and they hadn't quite released it yet.
They got your husband?
Yeah.
Girl, look, just like the Israelites, when God told them they had the land of milk and honey, and they went over there and saw giants, and they came back. God said, just because there was giants in land don't mean they ain't yours. Girl, hold up. Just so she got them for now. No, we're just joking. We're not trying to break up no marriages. We just having fun.
Right. So I think someone has mine.
Don't nobody have your husband. Nobody has him.
Nobody
has him.
Okay, so somewhere he's out there. He hasn't quite found the way. So
I know, mine ain't found his way yet either.
He got lost. He was probably in a forest somewhere and got lost.
But he's coming. You think he's coming along with this since this time?
Maybe. He says possessions and he says wealth. Yeah. We don't know what.
So what's gonna happen is he about to get his money right. Because this is the time.
God already knew.
God gonna pour into his finances right now, and then they come to give us high five me.
High five. There you go. Because God knew. Because we've been faithful servants.
Yeah.
So he wanted to send them
I don't know how faithful I've been.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They want to make sure they right. So they can't be coming here half-stepping.
Well, at this point, I just take a video kind of way. Just get here.
You are crazy. We're going to take a quick break. And then we're going to come back and talk about wealth.
We're observing 400 years this week of the arrival of the first captive Africans in the British claimed colonies of North America. We know that Africans were here more than a century before with the Spanish.
Well, it's always important to go back to the landmark. It's always important to go back and be reminded that it was sacrifices, it was lives.
People have to acknowledge, this history, and they have to acknowledge that there is still bias, there is still damage, not only from what was lost by these people being enslaved, but by what was lost by the prejudice and hatred that persists to this day.
It's been said that a lot of the trauma sustained by our ancestors has been passed down through our DNA. So with that come certain issues, but it's good to see that we've gathered to see what we can do to heal those traumas that we've endured.
The next 400 years has to be dedicated to trying to heal some of those scars, but that's only if America, makes the acknowledgement that the first 400 years were wrong.
The next 400 years, starting now, are going to be quite different from the last 400.
So it's about mindset. It's about mindset, right? Yeah. So even though we're joking, getting ready for our mates or getting ready for what's about to happen requires us to reframe and reshape how we think.
The Bible talks about renewing your mind in Romans 12.
Yeah.
1, by renewing of your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to get into a position where because our being enslaved for 400 years and having lost so much, and we've had businesses, I've been reading some really powerful books on opportunities that were presented to us. We took them, but of course things took place that we had no control over from an external standpoint, and we lost those. And you would think at the point that there's been so much loss that people would just give up and that would be the end of it. They wouldn't even want to continue on. But so now we've endured. So what do we do now? So last night when I gave my presentation, I was saying that the first thing we have to do is become active. We have to become engaged in what's going on around us from every aspect. That means from political, from really living in the Word and understanding it and how it because whatever you've been reading, if you didn't believe it, I think this right here is a pretty good indicator that God's word is the final word. It's true, right? So even if people have been confused about that, I think this is a good indicator. Now, what do you need to do in order to do that? So now we need to open our minds through reading and educating ourselves so that we understand two things: who we really are, and what that promise really was. And then we need to understand wealth and money, and how when a blessing comes, we know how to manage it and be good shepherds of it, right?
Yeah, and we can't do it with the old mindset.
And we cannot do it with the old
Romans
mindset.
Romans 12:2 says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God."
Right.
Yeah.
So now
how you get to His perfect will.
His perfect will, and it requires a plan. We now have, once we've educated and fed our minds and understanding what this next 400 years could really mean for us, and if it talks about wealth and acquiring wealth and being able to take care of our future generations, then that requires us being better stewards than we've been.
Better stewards, yep.
We have to be better stewards.
Got to be better over every area of our life.
Right, exactly. And we have to be, and so that's from a spiritual standpoint, and then from an educational standpoint, every household that has a black person in it needs to understand really the power of money.
Yes, yes.
Right? And then I think after that, we have to talk about accountability.
Yes.
Because that's important for us to learn the ways, and then if we do stray, be accountable to that.
Yes.
To right ourselves and put us back in track. Because it may be so easy to go back to being back in bondage.
Right, because it's going to take a minute. It's not going to happen overnight. This renewing of our minds is going to take by us every day feeding ourselves positive stuff, getting information, listening to the Business Zone every Friday.
Yeah. And Sunday.
Come into your accounting class so that they can learn how to manage your money and how to set up QuickBooks and all those kind of things. It's going to take some time.
And and reading the Wall Street Journal, anything to do with prosperity and growth, and then seeing what opportunities that could become revenue generating.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And taking a look at what you do, and can you do it better?
Right.
And if it's not creating the financial wealth that you would like to take care of your family and to leave a legacy, then we need to look at opportunities that will.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know with you've reevaluated your business and you're moving in some very positive directions.
Right.
But you had to go through some stuff, right? But it didn't stop you from coming back.
No, not at all. I'm so looking forward to, some of you don't know, but I'm opening up my studio again, my gym. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to allow me to create a larger residual type of income for myself, more residual income. It's going to allow me to employ some people and really make this move from, and it was the direction I was going in once before, but at the time I didn't own the building. And so the owner, he lost the building, and unfortunately, I know quite a few people who've experienced this.
Yes.
Owners lose the building, and then your business goes out the window. So I put some things in place right now to make sure that doesn't happen to me again. However, also I'm putting some things in place so I can begin to own something.
Right, because you need that, because that's the other part of wealth, is to be able to own, and especially if it's a commercial piece of property, because you can rent it out.
Yes.
Right? So, and being able to create, and my biggest point right now is creating those multiple streams of income from every aspect of what you do for a living, because we're not one dimensional.
Right.
So you have a fitness industry business. You're in the fitness industry, but you do so many other things that one could generate revenue from.
Right. But I can do everything right in this industry. This is $1 billion industry, and there's ways of me to create my linear income, passive residual income. There's ways for me to do a whole lot right in this industry. I can create multiple streams of income that can create for me a legacy. Right here, it's about the way I structure it. So part of the plan is to get the space big enough so that my current income can continue to increase.
Right.
My linear income, and then from there, I'm in a position where I can, as I grow and more, my business grows, I have a way from there to create more residual income for myself. So I am super excited.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of fun.
It's a whole lot of fun.
I'm doing the same thing with my business. I've been more of a educator, trainer, coach, but it's been more on a one-on-one.
Right.
But I'm one that doesn't increase the bottom line the way I want it, because it's hard to reach all everybody.
It's about getting the masses. That's what the studio's going to allow me to do. More people at a time. I love the one-on-one training, and I know because you're so good at it. Yeah. But just to get to masses and get more of testimonies for yourself, and then from there begin to present them with a product to create some residual income for yourself.
Right. Exactly. Oh, yeah. So I'm and it's been an interesting learning curve, creating an online course.
Yeah.
It's been challenging.
You've been okay?
Woo! But I am determined.
Right.
And so I've spent the last few days. It's been into that mode because it's very important. One, I think, my purpose on this planet is to be a provider of training and education and knowledge to others. So currently it is only happening in a very small radius.
Because we need you right now.
Right.
We're selfish.
Right. But I'm developing this platform that can be reached out, because I've had, well, can you do this? I'm in Atlanta. How can you help me? Right. I'm in here and I'm in New York. And so, okay, well, this way I could reach everybody and still be here. But so this is what I'm doing is creating that course. But it's taken me a minute to get there.
Right. Yeah, so I have my online platform that I've created. Okay. So I got some people in Chicago, New York, Atlanta. Right now, they're just on kind of autopilot with them. They've been with me for a moment. I just changed platforms, and it's working well.
Okay.
So once I get the studio settled, I can sit back and grow that.
Right.
But yeah.
And that's kind of
cool. I totally understand.
Right. That we have the internet. I think for the digital world has created such a new frontier for people to make just goo gobs of money that really doesn't tax you from a physical standpoint. And it gives you the ability to have a balance in life.
What's funny is I had people asking me, saying that the online platform is the way to go, and it is. It's absolutely. I think you do have to establish yourself online. And if you don't, you're doing yourself a disjustice. You can train some folks in Cleveland, Atlanta, New York. That's awesome. But you got so much to give right here. It's like that's not the only thing. I can't just not have a studio.
Right. No. And I think that's important.
So people are like, why are you going to open back up the studio when so much is happening online? Because there's another part of me that does so well in front of people.
Right.
And I just think this is for me, what it gives me to be in a studio and train and pour into people's lives and seeing the family atmosphere, the community you develop. That also helps me grow and be great. Yeah, so I think I need both as well as yourself.
Right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. In fact, my story, far as when I met you, is I have been doing Zumba online. Online with the CDs and that kind of stuff. That's how I worked out, right? And so when I ran across Zumba, the CDs and the DVDs, I was like, wow. And then because you can't really find, I had to get there because you can't, he has everything so locked down. It's hard for you to find Zumba classes online. So I had to go another route. But I had actually learned all the steps and everything. I had been doing Zumba for like 6 years. And then I thought, wow, this could be kind of fun if I was doing this in person with somebody. Yeah. And so I went looking, and that's how I found you. I went looking for you. So I had, my criteria was not to be too far from my house.
Right.
So, and
then look at God, you found me. And look at now we're on the radio together, besties forever. See how God works?
Yeah. So it was, because I could have stayed that way, but I wanted that in person. Right. The energy. So that's really
totally different,
energy
isn't it?
Is so wonderful. And then you, like you said, you create this family. There's a family that, and a lot of the individuals, your clients have been with you for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. Right? We've been doing some amazing things in the lives of people. Remember Rosie got cancer? Rosie, 20 years old, diagnosed with cancer, and the family, she didn't go through one chemo by herself. It's amazing what community can develop, and that's how you develop lifetime money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those people, because it's bigger than just you walking in the door.
That's the best customer retention on the planet.
Right, exactly, because you're connected to them.
You're connected.
You get involved in their lives, and they know that there's a support system right there with them. So So yeah, we can't give up the live piece. I just think you just have to look at how you're really augmenting the live piece, but so that you can put your revenue on automatic pilot. I think that's really important.
Yes, it's important.
And to be able to buy. So for us as Black people, the things that we need to be looking at is to create purchasing land and real estate.
Yes.
And also commodities and reinvesting in each other's businesses. Right. That's one of the things I want to do.
You can.
Yeah, you say that right now, huh? Is to with the biz camp that I do with the kids, there's so many great businesses that are coming out of that. I'd like to be able to. The plan is to create this wealth in order to give back and reinvest in other businesses. Because that's the hardest thing is starting a business with no capital.
Right. Yep. You can say that again.
That's a hard thing.
But it's doable. In Christ. Yeah. And I know someone, I was watching Shark Tank the other day. I'm going through season 1, watching through Shark. It's amazing. It's teaching me so much. And I saw a gentleman start a business that made him 6 figures in the first 8 or 9 months. He only put $1,000 in.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's doable.
And sometimes, and that's interesting because a lot of people think, oh my God, it costs thousands of dollars. That's one of the things that stop them is it costs thousands and thousands of dollars to start a business, and it really doesn't. If you have a service business, you can probably get into business.
It does take some money, but most importantly, it takes your follow through. When we talked about earlier, I think you and I talking about that earlier. Most people don't have the follow through, and when they run into a brick wall, they stopped. I was watching earlier today, I forget what season I'm in, the young man, the first weekend they actually launched their business, they were at a trade show, and the trade show asked to license it the first day. The first weekend, they went to a trade show on a Saturday, they got a license picked up.
Wow.
A company offered them money to license it. They were on their way. Well, what ended up happening was, when the company got out there, they found out that a piece of the product that they had, they couldn't, it was a part, it wasn't an original. One piece of the project wasn't original. Yeah, part of they had some styrofoam they was using that they could not use in another country because it was owned by someone. So they had to go back to the drawing board and don't use styrofoam. They had to use something else that they created. Does that make sense? And then they had to go for the utility patent. So what happened was the guy ended up having to cancel the license agreement. Now, that was 2 years ago. So they asked him on Shark Tank, well, what have you been doing since then? The guy said, we didn't know what to do. So in one day, you think that you're on your way. A month later, they find out you can't make a move, and so you sit for 2 years? You got to have some follow through and some hustle.
Right.
So you went to no other toy companies, you did nothing else, and most of us don't have that kind of tenacity or that drive.
Right.
We come up with an idea, and it sits there, and we never produce our greatness because we don't have the follow through. We don't have the get up. We don't know what to do. But usually when you don't know what to do, just do something.
Right. And or reach out to so many people. Yeah. And this is the next level, I think, for us is because there's a lot of things that we don't know, then finding coaches and mentors to help walk you through that process, even if that's where the money comes in, is someone walking you through the process and giving you the knowledge that you need and the resources and say, okay, I would research here, 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 and here. And this is what you're researching. Now you take it and go.
So every person on Shark Test said, I'm out, simply because you guys didn't try to do anything.
Right.
Did you pick up the phone and make one phone call to another company? No, I didn't. They didn't. We didn't know what to do. They said, I'm out. You have no drive.
Right. So that's the tenacity, right? Yeah. Because when somebody's going to invest in your business, that's what they're looking for. Yeah. It's not just that you have a good product.
Yes.
Right?
It's you.
It's you.
Yeah.
Because basically they're buying you.
But I think you and I are so great.
I think so too.
I think we can get anybody to invest in us. I think we just need to put ourselves out there because this energy and our cuteness, we can get whatever we want.
I agree with you 100%.
Because I saw this one guy, they told him they were out. This one guy, he started crying. Talking about,
Lord,
I need this to work because I want to get my fiance from wherever she was at work. He had everyone on that show crying. Everybody, even Mr. Wonderful grabbed and was wiping his face. Hilarious. And then Damon offered him a deal.
Oh.
But he asked for 40%, and he took it. So crying even works. Because he brought it to him. He brought it to him in his dream, and he wanted to. So they were like, wow.
Because that means the passion was there. And he had a really tangible goal.
Yeah, he's going to do whatever it takes to get her here. He said, you're going to work for it.
Right.
You cried on national TV, and he got money.
But it takes that.
Yeah.
Because you need to know how far you're willing to go.
Yep. I'm really going far, but not real far. But I'm going to cry if I have to. Are you ready to cry?
Yeah, I'll cry. Mine's in a minute. Someone says, start an investment. Let's see who said this. Start an investment group. Yeah, Margot. Actually, that is something that we as people, so this is part of this journey, when we open up our mind and realize that just shake off the chains, shake off the mental aptitude or whatever we lack of, and we're going to have to start trusting each other.
Yes.
And we're going to have to set up legal groups with legal binding documents and start investment groups, because when we realistically, and we were talking about this last night, realistically, with the cost of real estate in California, it's going to require groups of people
you
to
can say
do
that
it.
again.
So even if everybody's first-time buyers and everybody put up $10,000-$15,000 in your massing of wealth, then you could at least get a down payment going on, right? And if you give yourself a nice timeline, that 10-15 could be 25, and then you could at least have 100,000, and you could be buying big commercial groups
that's
building.
What Eric Thomas is doing right now. He has the 1%. I guess the 1% group he's calling it. So it costs about $1,000 a month to be a part of the group, but they're investing together. They're investing together as a group, and they're buying strip malls and things. I don't know if they made their first purchase yet, but I was there at one of the meetings. I went to one of his VIP meetings, and they had just finished the 1% group. Came into that meeting, and I was blown away by the money that was in the room and the conversation they were having that we weren't privileged to, but they shared a little bit with us to make us want to get into that group. And it was amazing. We were talking about the things that they're going to move to doing. So all black people, it was awesome. And I said yes.
Yeah, and I think, and so with that, that's going to be the next part, is making sure you're in the room with people that are progressive, and people that are going some places, people who have money and wealth, so that you can learn what that is. Because it's one thing getting our book learning, but there's another piece that is really watching and observing how wealthy people and their stories, because not everyone started with, especially as black people, a small percentage of us may have started with a silver spoon where somebody passed money down to us, and then we were able to take it. Most of us have gotten our money from nothing and created something humongous out of it. And knowing where that opportunity is. So if you're sitting in the room where there's movers and shakers and doers and folks with money, just by osmosis, it should rub off on you. But if you, as George Frazier says, if you're sitting in the room and everybody's broker than you,
come on now.
There's really no chance for you to grow.
And that's just as bad as being in a room and everyone's on the same level.
Yeah,
that's just as bad.
Yeah, it is.
All my girlfriends are better than me.
Because it gives you everybody's
it makes me
rising
stretch.
up.
It makes me elevate.
It
makes me look better.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that helps as well.
So I recently had and it wasn't recently. I think it was earlier, either end of last year or this year. I went to end of last year. I went to a vision board party, and it cost $3,000 to get in. We've talked about this before, right? $3,000 to get into the party, because they were also using that $3,000. The winner who reached their goal, their end of the year goal, actually won the money.
Oh, okay.
So it was $3,000 to get into the vision board party.
Process.
Yeah, and then everyone who reached their goal, they set goals, and for the halfway mark, and whoever reached their goals, I think the overall year goal, I can't remember what it was, but I know that person walked off with all the money, and it was either 11 or 12 people in the room. So you count the money that the person left with.
Wow.
Who reached the goal.
So 11 people, that's $33,000.
Yeah, right? And it was, but what was interesting was, I love vision board parties, but that was called an action board. Wasn't called a vision board. So the action board is a new vision board. Now, this is the thing. We have pictures on our vision board, and that vision board sits in the corner. Mm-hmm. That's our vision board, right? Mm-hmm. If they had a picture on there, that picture had 25 steps underneath it. It was a strategic plan.
How you got to that.
What are my steps to getting there? That's the action steps is more important than the picture. You take the action, you'll get the picture. So we're putting these nice, cute little pictures I'll never do a vision board party like that again, where we're taking pictures and we're putting it on a board and we talk about want this, that, and the other. But we leave there not knowing the steps, don't have a sound game plan, don't have a business plan. They have 5 or 6 things they want to accomplish, and each one of those things has strategically laid out how they were going to get there. It was unbelievable. My mouth
that's awesome.
I never go to a party with people making my type of money again. I'm going to that kind of party because I know they're on fire.
That's cool. That's really unique. I like that because you do need to.
So the next vision board party I'm having is coming up in December, and that is what we're doing. We're doing the new vision board is an action board, and we're gonna come with some steps on how we're going to get it. It's just like making a business plan for each small thing you want to accomplish. Yeah. And then they were identifying if you read the book by Keller Williams, the one thing. They had all those action plans down. They said, what's the one thing that you would do on that board within this group that would change the trajectory of that goal of your life? And everybody identified it. They had marked. It was unbelievable. I got something for you December. We're going to do it.
Okay, that's cool.
We're going to do it.
And I think another one would be, and I don't know if you've ever played this game, it's called Cash Flow.
Yeah, of course.
So that would be.
I played? I'm insulted.
I'm sorry, but for the audience, for our listening audience, if you guys haven't played Cash Flow, I think that would be a compliment to that. Having Cash Flow. Maybe we can talk to Alicia about.
Maybe we should.
Actually, I told her for the Bella Network that Friday night. Mm-hmm. That's what we should do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because that gets us in mind.
That's awesome.
And the Cash Flow is just that just takes you, elevates you to another place. Far as
they used to have places where you can go and play that game.
Yeah, it used to be a long time ago because it was huge.
Well, we need to bring it back.
Yeah, we need to bring it back. And I met someone recently, and that's what she does.
They have 2 games. They have the Cash Flow and they have the other one that's out.
Yeah, they have the one that's the Cash Flow, and then they have the one that's
Cash Flow Quantity. What is? Yeah, that's the book. They have this.
They have the one for the 202. I think it's the investment side of it.
Yeah.
The investment side of it. So that would be awesome. And that's what I suggested to Alicia on that Friday night before we do.
We need to bring that gang back.
Yeah. So
that's what we can do.
Oh my God, it just really, and every time you play it, you change because life is about strategy.
Yes.
Making money is about strategy.
Yes.
Because you have to test different components to see if it works, and what you have to tweak with it to make it work, and that's kind of what Cash Flow. You got to really think about it because you could be the wealthy doctor with a awesome 6-figure income a month, but then you have so much debt that went along with that.
Right.
Whereas I've played the game where the individual was the trash guy. I mean, he had an hourly wage, but he didn't have big school loans.
You know another thing that would be great to do. This is another thing that they were doing. They got together with their credit reports. They had credit report type of parties.
Oh.
And they shared the knowledge of raising their credit report, and then they got back together and they all got their credit scores together at a certain point. Everybody in that room.
And so everybody was working as a team. So I think those are some of the processes we can work to for opening up our mindset, for being able to recognize opportunities, because that's what Cash Flow does. And then the vision action or the action plan parties is having you to put down your dreams, and then with your I'm not. We're working together.
A thief.
Hey, Katrina, how are you? And then putting them down and steps on how do we actually get there.
Right.
So anybody in the listing office, both on Facebook Live, my personal Facebook Live, Don's Facebook, if you have some ideas and you're all on board with this, we want you guys to
at the Bella Network.
At the Bella Network, which is going to be in November.
Yes.
You guys need to come on out.
We're
not playing.
We're not playing. And you know what? Let me tell you how we're not playing. This young lady, and she will not toot her own horn. She's going to be teaching a 3-hour class, but we're going to have breaks on investments and accounting and creating wealth. She's going to teach the class at the Bella Network in November. Alicia, can you put the information right there in the at the bottom of the Facebook page? But you can go to thebellanetwork.com, and sign up, read about what we're doing. It's going to be absolutely awesome in November. If you haven't gone to a Bella Network event, you're missing something.
It's probably the first weekend in November, whatever that is.
You're missing something great.
Yes, and I tell you, we women, because this is how things are going to change. Mm-hmm. We got to take the bull by the horn.
We're taking over.
And we're going to take over.
You know what we do.
And we're going to drag you like a mama would do. Yes. And drag you to your greatness, people.
Oh, and if you don't know, Alicia Madison is the Game Changer of the Year, right? Last year she won the Game Changer of the Year award. She won the Leadership Award with, was it Essence or Ebony? What was it?
Essence, I think.
Essence, I believe, a Leadership Award. She is phenomenal. She's going to be speaking as well. She is the founder, the co-creator, because I like to think that I helped her create it too.
Yes, you were there.
And so did Crystal.
Yeah.
She's the creator of the Bella Network, and she pours her heart and soul into this event. It's going to be phenomenal. You're going to get some awesome teaching. These women are great. And I heard the host was just as cute as she can be.
I know, me too.
And I heard the host was hilarious, and she was cute. And she's really just, she'll keep the place alive.
She will.
Who is that?
I think her name is Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Do you know her?
Yes. So come out for a fun time. The Bella Network in November. Go to thebellanetwork.com.
Right, and find out. But ladies, it's on us to make some changes, some strategic changes. But we got to work. We got 400. We got some new 400 years, although some of us won't be here for 400 years. So we got a little window for those of us that are still moving forward. But for our children and our nieces and nephews, for those of us that have children and their children and their children, that would be another 4 generations of black people.
Yes.
And actually, we're Americans because that's where we were born. For those of us that are here, so we're descendants of Africans, but we are our next 4 generations has to be different, and we have to pass on legacy. So it is the challenge out to everyone is how can you change your game plan right now and increase by tenfold your annual income and net worth.
But if you tune in every Friday right here, we're going to give you some tips and ideas. We're going to give you some strategies. We're going to help you do just that. Be prepared for what God has for you, what He's about to pour into your life, what He's about to change. His will is true. He does not lie.
He does not lie. Genesis 15:17, He says He is about to open up and give us the wealth and the possessions that we deserve for being in bondage for 400 years. So it's time.
It's time. We're here to help you get it.
And we want you to be it. So first level, we have to become connected, involved, and action-oriented.
Yes. And mentally strong.
And mentally strong. So we got to work on our mental capacities. Yes. We have to release the chains from our minds.
Yes.
And be open vessels to receive all of the blessings that are here for us.
Because it's there.
It's there.
I think we can say amen to that.
I think we can. That was a fast hour.
Yeah.
So it was a little biblical. It was
everything we needed to be successful.
Everything needed to be. So guys, look into the project 1619 project so you can fully understand. This is a time that you need to know what your history is. Share it with your children. We were brought here as slaves, but that was just, it happened to be our physical position, but that doesn't have to be our lifelong and generation position. So now, as my sister said, the curse has been lifted, and now it's time for us to live in our full potential.
Yeah.
And I think that, so for everyone that's listening, share this show with everybody in your family, your friends, because that's what it's about. And then we want you to come back next Friday afternoon from 3 to 4. And we're going to continue on. We're going to be celebrating and creating and moving forward in this journey.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the action plan party at the end of the year.
And the cash flow party.
And the cash flow party.
And the Bella Network Conference.
And elevating your friends and your companions.
Yes.
Hang out with some folk with some money so you can see how they strutting. And read about people that have made their lives, created their wealth and their fortunes out of absolutely nothing.
I think this was a great show.
I think so too. So we're now at the top of the hour. Anything you want to share?
Just
upcoming.
Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Dawn Strozier. I got some new stuff happening. God is so good. I promise you, y'all. He will never leave you nor forsake you. His promises, his benefits are true. You just hold on to his unchanging hand. He'll show up in your life. Follow me.
All right. And follow me, Crystal, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. I'm everywhere. And as well as Recycling Black Dollars, the Business Zone here every Friday afternoon from 3 to 5. I'm sorry, 3 to 4. That's our new format. Yes. And also, I will be posting quotes on us saying that the time is now. So every month, for every day for the next couple of months, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make y'all come to the same place that we are. Okay. Just going to make it happen. It's been great. And this is the Business Zone with Crystal and
Gilbert and Don.
And Gilbert will be back next week.
Yes.
And have a great weekend, guys. Oh, one quick thing. Morris Media Studio is celebrating its 5 years in business. Yay! That's where we are right now. So tomorrow afternoon, Poetess is celebrating. She's got a big celebration going on here. So pop on down, especially those of you with shows. But come on down. You might want to have a show, and this is an excellent studio to do that in. And that's it. I think I don't have too much more to go on. So we will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Got my capability statement, yes, I'm ready to go. Got my balance sheet, my P&L, my statement of cash flow. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.